Hey everyone, Two Angry Frogs here, and in this video we're going to go through the Horrific Vision of Stormwind. We'll show you step by step the best route to complete all side objectives with minimal backtracking, especially for the portals in the Mage Quarter, defeat Alleria for a complete run, and where to pick up all of the buffs you need to help you more easily complete the vision. We've also got tips throughout the video on how to identify potions, what talents to focus on for the Hourglass of Horrific Visions, and how to get the Tributes and Helm Enchants. So, let's jump in and take down Stormwind. You have 5 objectives to complete in the Horrific Vision of Stormwind. These include the main objective of defeating Alleria in the Cathedral Square, and 4 side objectives located in the Dwarven District, Old Town, the Trade District, and the Mage Quarter. As you can see on the map, the vision is broken down into 3 tiers of difficulty based on Sanity Drain and Madness affixes. These include tainted areas, of which there is only one, Cathedral Square, where you start the vision, corrupted areas, which include the Dwarven District and the Trade District, and lost areas, which include Old Town and the Mage Quarter. While in any of these areas, you drain Sanity. For the tainted area, it's 6 per second. For corrupted, 8 per second, and in lost areas, 12 per second. So how do you best deal with the constant sanity drain? First is making sure to clear each Stormwind area at least once. Completing each area permanently reduces your sanity drain by 10%. So completing all areas at least once reduces your sanity drain by 50%. Second is taking the full column of Steeled Mind talents in the Hourglass of Horrific Visions. Once you have all 4 ranks, your sanity drain is reduced by 40%. And with both of these, you can reach a total of 90% reduced sanity drain, which makes full run completions way easy. So let's go through step by step how to best route through the Stormwind vision and the key things to watch for. You'll start the vision in Cathedral Square. Clear enemies on your right, and as you approach the back wall, you'll see the corpse of Morgan Pestle. Next to Morgan, you can identify the color of the poison or bad potion. And once you know this, you can determine the color of the good potion. Drinking the poison potion reduces your sanity by 100, and drinking the good potion restores 100 sanity. If you're comfortable with using weak auras and don't want to have to constantly refer to a table, there is a great weak aura for keeping track of potions. To use it, once you're inside the vision, check which color is the poison potion. Click the potion color on the weak aura and it automatically fills in which potion is which color. The weak aura also tracks buff timers for the potions and your sanity. After checking the potions, turn back toward the entrance to the cathedral and kill the 2 fallen rift walkers at the top of the stairs. Watch for the Rift Strike cast and move out of the Rift eruptions to avoid being stunned. Before heading to the Dwarven District, we'll check for 2 buffs. First, check if the Righteous Plates shop is open, located west of the fountain. Inside the shop, you find August Mulane, and defeating him gives you Requited Bulwark, increasing your versatility by 7%. Then check if the Argent Dawn building is open, located just to the left of the East Cathedral exit. After you enter the building, you'll step on the Bear Rug to trigger an event to defeat 3 waves of Angry Spirits. Defeating them all earns you the Bear Spirit buff, increasing haste by 10%. Note that only one of the shops will be open and active for any given run. With that completed, you'll head to the Dwarven District. As you're crossing the bridge, you run into Kelsey Steelspark, and you'll need to free her from the 3 brainwashed gnomes. After rescuing Kelsey, open the barrier to the Dwarven District and head to your left. You need to plant 8 bombs in the locations that are shown on your mini-map with the yellow dots. Note that not all of them are in clear view and can be hidden behind crates, and so on. To minimize backtracking, you can take the following route and you'll end up at the location of the Dwarven District boss, Theron Deepforged. As you enter at the left entrance of the Dwarven District, check the Stonehead mining building. If it's open, you can go inside, and while avoiding the pressure-sensitive landmines on the floor, navigate to the 2nd floor of the building. Note that on the second set of stairs leading to the 2nd floor, you will need to jump on the handrail to avoid the mines. The mines don't damage you, but stepping on them does teleport you to the building entrance to start over. At the top, step on the glowing experimental buff mine to get teleported out and receive the empowered buff, which boosts your damage by 10%. There is a single mini-boss in this area, Forge Guard Herul. Here you just need to avoid the purple swirly on the ground 3 times from his entropic leap. You'll know this is coming because he will always cast Void Tainted Blades before entropic leap. After you have placed all 8 bombs, click on the plunger, and the boss jumps down from the stone wall. The 2 main things here are first to move out of the large orange circles from his explosive ordnance ability. These do a lot of fire damage and drain a large amount of sanity if you are in them when they explode. They also leave behind fire pools that drain sanity and do further damage. Second, avoid his frontal ability, Empowered Forge Breath, which also does fire damage and drains sanity. Out of the Dwarven District, exit through the gateway behind where you just defeated Therum and head towards Old Town by crossing the bridge to the right. Old Town is one of the most dangerous districts due to pools often containing mobs in stealth that poison you, significantly reducing casting speed and movement speed. So if you need, take it a little slower in this area. If you have stealth uncovering abilities, they come in very handy here. Your initial objective in Old Town is to loot 2 keys, one from Armsmaster Terranson and one from Auxcalv the Infested. Click the barrier to enter and you'll immediately be hit by 2 of the stealth enemies. After defeating them, turn to your right where you encounter Armsmaster Terranson. The big ability to avoid here is the Frontal Roaring Blast, which drains a large amount of sanity, and Blade Flourish, which you can avoid with some range. Turn back and make your way around the path, and you'll eventually run into Auxcalv the Infested. Auxcalv hits you with Corrupted Blight, causing disease damage, and this cannot be avoided. What you do want to avoid is the swirlies from Lurking Appendage, which will drain sanity and silence you if you're caught in the area. With both keys in hand, defeat the mob pack heading up the stairs, and then use the keys to open the headquarters area to Matthias Shaw. Note that you can click on either of the monoliths, and Valera will handle the other. For groups, 2 players need to coordinate clicking both monoliths together. Shaw is one of the more difficult bosses in Stormwind, and is accompanied by an Eye of Chaos. He'll initially be stealthed, so head up the small hill to uncloak him. There are 2 really important things to watch for here. First is making sure you're not facing the Eye of Chaos, which casts Dark Gaze and continually drains your sanity. You always want to have your back to the direction the eye is facing. What makes this more difficult is that Shaw will continue to summon more Eye of Chaos throughout the fight, so this is one to use cooldowns to get through this fight as quickly as possible. The second is that Shaw will occasionally disappear and then attack from the shadows. Make sure to move out of the shadowy swirls after this ability, and with so much going on, it's really easy to find yourself attacking an eye instead of Shaw, since you lose focus when he vanishes. So just make sure you refocus on Shaw after he reappears. After defeating Shaw, you'll head to the Trade District, and you can cut through the small alley between the Guildmaster's building and the General Goods Shop to get straight there. For the Trade District, your first objective is to defeat Inquisitor Darkspeed, so you'll head toward the ramp leading up to the Griffin Riders. The main thing here is to interrupt his Agonizing Torment channeled ability, which inflicts shadow damage and drains sanity. With that done, head to the Stormwind entrance where you need to defeat the boss Slave Master Olrock. 2 things to handle here. First, avoid the lines where the shadow tentacles slap the ground. Second, at 80% and 30% health remaining, he'll cast Chains of Servitude, so you need to move away from the boss. If you get pulled too close, you're stunned and lose a massive amount of sanity. Note that you are silenced while being pulled. Defeating Olrock allows you to free the captives in cages scattered across the Trade District. 8 captives in total need to be rescued, and you'll see these marked on your minimap. Before leaving the trade district, make sure to check the Stormwind Bank after defeating Olrock. If the bank is open, you can go in and kill the neglected guild bank for a 10% critical strike chance buff. After rescuing the trade district captives, you'll head across the bridge to the Mage Quarter. Your first task here is to close the 5 void portals around the area, marked on your minimap with yellow dots. They can be closed in any order, but the route we have here will get them all closed with very little backtracking. Head to the right as you enter and stay to the left as you go up the hill. Directly ahead, you'll see the Boundless Corruption. We'll go ahead and defeat it to stop the constant AoE effect that hits the ground and drains sanity around the tower. The major thing to watch for here is making sure to get out of the Chaos Breath frontal attack, which drains a large amount of sanity over time. After killing the Boundless Corruption, turn back down the hill and head back into the opening on your left. Head up the hill and off to your left you'll see a Portal Keeper and a Greater Void Elemental. Defeat them to close the first portal. Turn back, head up the hill again, and you'll run into Zardeth of the Black Claw in the second portal. Zardeth is the one that is consistently spawning the Crawling Corruption, so killing him stops the spawns. For Zardeth, you need to watch for 2 main things. First is Rain of Fire, which does damage and drains sanity if you remain in the area of the effect. Second are the Unstable Servant Summons. These deal damage not based on your remaining health, but on max health, so burn these down as quick as you can. Now you'll head to the opening on the left and down the path to kill the mob pack to close the third portal. Head to your right around the tower and kill the mob pack to close the fourth. And finally, go through the tailoring shop and on the other side, kill the mob pack to close the 5th portal. Now you can head into the Mage Tower and into the portal room. Here you'll fight Magister Umbric. He'll start directly in front of you, and when at 80%, 45%, and 20% remaining health, he teleports to a random end of the room. When he teleports, he channels Frozen Storm, casting ice bolts that deal damage, drain sanity, and slows you if you're hit. Use abilities, potions, etc. to increase movement speed to get to him as quickly as possible so you can engage him again. You'll want to interrupt the Entropic Missiles channel to avoid further sanity drain, and in addition, Umbric will periodically polymorph you into a sheep for 4 seconds, which should be interrupted whenever possible. After defeating Umbric, take the portal to the Stormwind Cathedral and head inside to defeat Alleria Windrunner. When you approach Alleria, a quick roleplay occurs and then you can engage her. Note that Alleria will be much more difficult due to completing all the objectives. Not only does she gain 10% increased health for each bonus objective, but also gains an additional ability from the bonus area bosses. Alleria has 2 abilities regardless of if or how many side objectives you complete. First is Darkened Sky, which shoots an arrow above you and then explodes. Avoid the swirlies on the ground, which drains sanity. For Alleria's second ability, Void Eruption, you need to use the pillars around the room to line of sight the explosion, which causes massive sanity drain if you're hit. The additional abilities Alleria gains depend on the side objectives you complete. When defeating Therum Deepforge, she gains Explosive Ordnance, which detonates after 5 seconds. If you're in the area, you suffer fire damage and sanity drain. These also leave a pool of fire behind, but you can manage this by kicking the bombs away before they explode. When defeating Matthias Shaw, Alleria gains Eye of Chaos. As with Shaw, just make sure you're not facing the Eye of Chaos to avoid the sanity drain. If you defeat Slave Master Olrock, she gains the Chains of Servitude, so you'll need to back away from her during the pool, and as before, you'll be silenced during the 5 seconds. Note that you can get behind a pillar to avoid being pulled towards Alleria. Finally, when defeating Magister Umbric, she gets Tainted Polymorph, which should be interrupted to avoid being turned into a wandering sheep. So a couple of additional things that you can do to make things smoother are gaining tributes and enchants. You can see your tributes in the starting room with Rathian. These are automatically unlocked as you reach certain levels of killing various mob types and drinking potions or collecting crystals during vision runs. We have 4 types, each with 3 ranks. First, Vision Hunter, which grants haste and movement speed for killing enemies. Elite Extermination for killing elite enemies, and this will restore sanity when you kill an elite enemy. Experimental Destabilization for killing bosses. This increases your damage when above 50% sanity and decreases damage taken while below 50%. And finally, Clear Sight for collecting potions and odd crystals, and this allows you to see hidden treasure chests. The second thing you can do is gain the Helm Enchants. You obtain these by completing quests with a gear move. The first quest, Borrowing Corruption, requires 500 displaced corrupted mementos and 8 black blood residue, which are looted from each chest you get for completing side objectives. This gives you access to lesser rune enchants and the ability to buy any lesser rune enchant from a gear move. The second quest, Enhancing Corruption, requires 1,000 displaced corrupted mementos and 8 black blood coagulate, which you loot from each chest for completing a lost area side objective. This gives you access to greater rune enchants and the ability to buy any greater rune enchant from a gear move. So many players find that among the 2 Horrific Visions, Stormwind tends to be much more difficult than Orgrimmar, and I am inclined to agree. The combination of boss abilities that Alleria has during a full run brings a lot of chaos, and a lot of filling the room she is in. Outside of that, the side objectives are pretty straightforward when dealt with alone. We do hope this guide helps you in your completion of the Stormwind Horrific Vision, and as always, let us know your thoughts and any questions you have down below in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you always know what's coming up next. And a special shout out to our members for your continued support. We do thank you very much. And everyone, have a great day.